Yo, what's up, guys? I'm here with my games from OST round 4. I am facing Ojama, and I want to give a brief just description of who Ojama is before I get into the battle, because I feel like it'll be disrespectful if I just hop straight into the games without letting you guys know who he is. So, Ojama has been around on Smogon for years, like master of gens like 1 through 5. Very good at Gen 7 as well. I believe he was an OST finalist a couple years ago. And he's made it to many playoffs of various tours, finals, things like that, just multiple times. So this guy is like one of the best players on the site, on the Smogon site. Definitely top 5, and yeah, so that's what Ojama is. Extremely good player, like just extremely good. So I was pretty excited to play him. And yeah, so a bit of backstory behind my team choice and whatnot. So this is actually not my team. This is my buddy Ray's team. Huge shout outs to him. This man took the time out like multiple times this week just to help me test, and he's a busy man, so that has all my respect, man. Like huge thanks to you. And yeah, he passed me this team. I wanted to use Kurim because from what I saw from Ojama's replays, it was pretty weak to that, like the clefs, hippos, pharaoh type of stuff is really weak to that. And he doesn't really have good switching for that. Well, he could pivot around it between Spadev, Corv, and Clef, but still, it's still a huge problem to him. And we got Cinderace as well, bulk up their attacks, which also disadvantages him. Honestly, this looks like a counter team. I don't know if somebody like showed him my previous games from my other rounds, but really this looks like a counter team because looking at it, he has Hydreigon, Defog, Earth Power beats my Heatran, because I've used Heatran like 3 times in the tour so far. Rotom Heat beats my Zapdos, my Magirnas, Corviknight. I've been spamming Landorus T, so Corviknight destroys that. And yeah, this really looks like a team built specifically for me, or he just used the team that just happened to have good matchup versus my usual stuff. But I switched it up and I brought something entirely different. I still have Landorus T because it's the best mon of all time, but everything else, there's a bunch of monos I don't really use too much, like Toxapex, Blissey, mostly because they don't really take any skill. I want to say like don't take skill, but like it doesn't really take much brain power to use Pex or Blissey. And they're mostly just skillless mons. So, and yeah, just wanted to bring those. Because it's just, so switch up from my usual stuff. And Skarm, I haven't brought that either. Kurim, things like that. And yeah, so to get into the teams, right? So, like game plan wise, Cinderace, like I said, destroys him. He has no good speed control. Best thing to handle it is guard Chomp. And nobody runs Scarf Chomp, so I was pretty sure it'd be safe versus that. Most likely Helmet, because again, like his team is really weak to Cinderace otherwise. So I was pretty much assuming it was that. Like all I need is a better chip on that Chomp, and then after +1, I knock everything out besides Suicune. Yeah, like high jump kick, Power Ball just massacres his team. So like I said, all I need is a better damage on that Chomp for Cinderace. Kurim, he does have good ice resist in Suicune and Rotom Heat, but everything else gets still killed by Ice Beam, even if he's a Spadev Corv, he's still killed, especially after Stealth Rock. And if I can somehow paralyze the Hydreigon, Kurim, that's the only thing that outspeeds it, so that'd be nice to have. And yeah, Kurim is just really good here. The combination of Cind and Kurim. Landorus T is really bad. Loses to Corviknight, Rotom Heat, I'm not Stone Edge. Loses to Clay, it just loses to too much to place value on it. So really just gonna be throwing it into Chomp to defog, because really that's his only purpose, and to get up Stealth Rocks. Toxapex is there to it beats a lot of his team really. Like he cannot kill it easily. Even at +2 Rotom Heat. Discharge is not KO. Haze is like very important to deal with Suicune, and potential plot Rotom, things like that. Potential Combine Clef, Scarm. Again, not too good. Same as Landers. It's only there to deal with the guard Chomp. That's pretty much it. Spikes are not good at all because I mean it hits Suicune and Chomp, but other than that, it's not that great. Spikes are okay at best. And Blissey just again knows like walls a large portion of his team. Can't break Suicune's sub, but it could like sit on it for a bit and then allow me to go to something else. For example, I could like Seismic Toss and teleport out to cure him, or to go hard cure him. But yeah, you guys get the point. It beats Clef somewhat, kind of stalls it a bit, beats Rotom Heat, and Hydreigon. So I was like, I'm pretty comfortable with this matchup. Really, my only two useless mons are Orlando and Scarm. Everything else is really good. So yeah, like I said, need a bit of damage on that Chomp for Cinderace to win, and we should be good. I could bulk up versus things like Corviknight because he's gonna be forced to switch. Hydreigon because they cannot Oko me if he's a bulky variant. And yeah, that's my game plan. So let's get into the game. I lead Cinderace versus Clef. Now here I pull a double out to Pex. This covers for a random Thunder Wave or the Chomp switch. Now you may be asking why double the Pex predicting Chomp. Well, I could bluff the Toxic or I could Scald if I want to. But the thing is, I can't stay in there in case he's like Life Orb because I'm not Fizzed at Pex. So Life Orb EQ would actually knock me out. So I have to switch there. And I'll go to my Landers just to scout to see if he's Life Orb Chomp, but seeing as he just went straight for Stealth Rock into Flamethrower, I know that he's defensive, as like I said, Landers' only purpose is to deal with the Chomp. Now here, he Stealth Rocks into Toxic on my Lando as Earthquake. Now his Chomp's at 65%. That's Cinderace range. So once I bulk up, that thing is dead. And yeah, I was like, that's great. So step one is complete. Cinderace check is whittled as he goes to Corviknight here. Makes sense. Doesn't want to take any more damage with Chomp because then Cinderace really just ravages him. I'll go for Rocks. Not expecting much from the Corv. I thought it'd be standard defog. It actually reveals to be bulk up, which is a problem because I am not Whirlwind Scarm. Otherwise, this would be a non-threat. But because I'm not Whirlwind, I have to play around this a lot. And thing is, Pex, even though I'm like max def, I'd still take nothing from that +1 Brave Bird. Problem is though, he can like pressure stall my hazes, which I need for the Suicune, things like that. So here's basically me just playing around Corviknight a bit, recovering, hazing, basically trying to break the sub so that I can intimidate him and he'd be in like an endless loop. So you can't really like beat my team. I feel like this is a bit premature because I have a whole Skarmy. You don't even know if I have Whirlwind. So Scald here, break the sub. I go to Lando. I just get the Intimidate off and pull a switch out to Blissey because he's at -1. So Brave Bird I know won't be doing anything. As the great part about Blissey is that Seismic Toss breaks Corviknight sub because it doesn't have over 100 HP. So I was like, that's great. So I'm finally able to force out the Corv as I'll go for Softball there. Just the best play. I want to keep it as healthy as possible for Rotom Heat. And here, I know he's just going to defog, so I'll go for Thunder Wave. What this does is open up my Kyurem later on, so that when I teleport into it, I'm not threatened by Hydreigon. If he has like a random Draco, which they don't run on this set, but just in case, it's better to just have the Hydreigon T-Wave. This also means that he cannot like defog as easily on Landers because he'll be taking the U-turn chip. So yeah, that's great. As I teleport there, no reason to Seismic Toss because I know he's not staying in, doesn't make sense to. I'm able to teleport into my Kyurem on the Corviknight. I mean, not the Corviknight, the Chomp. Position that, so perfect positioning there as I'm able to just fire off an Ice Beam. I knew he wouldn't go Suicune first, which is why I knew it was safe to do this. I believe Ice Beam is a roller to kill the Corv, and he's Spadef, of course. It just makes sense because he's bulk up, and I freeze him there. I mean, I would say that it doesn't really matter because it's a Suicune. He can thaw. He melt the ice with the Scald as he's gonna do here. As I pull the switch up to my Blissey, get burned, doesn't really matter. Seismic toss, I'll just do a bit of damage, and then I believe I teleport into Kyurem. Yeah. As here Kyurem just has great positioning again. Freeze dry is not even bad to lock into because Corviknight would be 2 killed from 50%, and Rotom has to take chips. So now this is also in high jump kick range. If he had a better defense or something, he could have lived, but now he does not. So I'll go Landers here just to bait the overheat, as I don't need health on Landers. It doesn't really matter that I throw it in there. Just wanted to bait that real quick, and softboard up as it goes to Chomp. Again, always gonna keep my Blissey healthy, never gonna let it go below 70% because I need it as healthy as possible. As again, best play is to go Lando on Chomp because again, it's only here to check the Chomp. I don't need health. Like, does not matter, and I don't care about Corviknight roosting because what this allows is for me to get a free switch into my Cinderace. He subs there. I mean, it makes sense. Stalls out a bit of Power Balls. Doesn't really matter though. As here I go for Power Ball just to break the sub, and I'll bulk up, knowing that he's not gonna risk his Corviknight because that thing can win the game in like I don't know, a last mon situation, or if he removes Scarm somehow. I know he's not gonna stay in basically, so I'll just go for bulk up there into high jump kick. Now I get a crit. It doesn't matter like at all unless he was impish. The only way he lives that is if he's impish Chomp, because then the roll would be like around 60%. But the standard Chomp set is like Jolly with a bit of speed and like 200 defense, which the min roll is actually 65%. So I'm assuming he's that set. You know, just outspeed things like Nidoking, which he's not even weak to. Like, he has Suicune to pivot, and outspeed if he's like max speed. It can speed tight at least. Spadef Core eats hits, Hydreigon, so I doubt he's like, I don't know, he should be though, Jolly. If I like obstacle, actually, yeah, he should be Jolly. Yeah, I just knock him out there. It didn't matter, like at all. So I'm like, great. Cinderace is good to win the game as long as I do not get burned. Basically, I'm going for game at this point because there's just no reason not to. Like you could argue I could have switched to Kyurem to not even risk the burn, but I think that Kyurem being burned is worse than Cinderace getting burned. And if I don't, basically I just win right here, like right now, because Suicune would die to 2 Zen headbutts. Even after Scald, Clef, Moonblast will not kill me, and everything else dies. So I was like, all right, I should just immediately win if I do not get burned, and I get burned. So Cinderace can no longer win the game. I don't even have aromatherapy in my Blissey, so there's just no shot with that. So now I have to play a bit of a longer game. You can say I got impatient, but I mean, I felt like it was just the best play at that point, just to try and win the game. I didn't want to like prolong it, but let's get the burn. Pretty unfortunate, but hey, I can still win. I can still have a pretty good shot with Kyurem, but it still like kind of destroys him. As he pulls a switch out to his Rotom Heat, solid play. Now here I make a god play, go to my Cinderace, knowing the plane split is coming. I don't want him plane splitting my Blissey and going back to nearly 100%. And here I pivot the Toxapex, knowing the Clef is coming, because it's pretty safe as my Cinderace is burned and revealed my entire set, but he knows I don't have gunk shots, so Clef was a very safe switch there. But I know that was coming, so I pull a double out to my Pex, knowing that he's not going to stay in with his Rotom to go for any offensive play. Yeah, I just know you want to stay in Rotom basically, as he goes to Clef on the double as I knock here, not expecting him to be tricked. Honestly, I could have scouted for this and went back to Cinderace because it's useless at this point. And I needed my item on Pex for sure, because now it's going to be a lot harder to beat Suicune and Corviknight 1v1 because I'm sticky barbed and I have to recover every other turn more than I need to, which sucks, but you gotta take that. I definitely should have went to Cinderace there to scout for that. Got a little impatient there, honestly, but again, still can win. Put a Blissey here. He takes my boots, which does not matter at all because his Stealth Rock was dead, so that does not play a role at all. As I'm gonna go Scarm here just to get up some spikes. What this allows is basically what I was going for here is if I spike twice, or 3 times. His Suicune can't pivot into Ice Beam from Kyurem. Like, he can't come in on Ice Beam, protect, then live the next turn. He'll just die to 2, put those spikes up. So that was my thought process there. As he goes to Hydreigon, the Defog. It's pretty free, because it's paralyzed. I don't have toxic, things like that. And I'm able to position my Kyurem once again, and click that Ice Beam. 2 kills Corviknight easily, so I have to pivot again. See what I mean about Suicune? If that spikes are up, he would have been at around like 17% or something. If my math is right on that, and he wouldn't be able to take 2 Ice Beams, even have to protect. But I freeze him again, which is pretty funny. But again, it doesn't matter too much. He can just stall. Though it does force him to go for something else besides Calm Mind or Protect or whatever. But I just stay in here to Ice Beam. He's actually pressure stalling my Ice Beams, but I have no choice but to go for it. I don't want that Suicune Calm Minding, as he decides to sack Hydreigon there. Makes sense because it doesn't really do anything. Like, it just sits there and loses to Blissey, and also just U-turn on it, things like that. So it makes sense that he sacked it there. It's just not useful. And he can still win with the last 4. As I pull the switch to my Cinderace, because I don't want to go. I can't go Blissey because he'll be able to sub on the Seismic Toss because it won't break. So I'll go for Cinderace there just to beat him down just enough so that he cannot live the Ice Beam even after Protect. And at that point, I don't need Cinderace for anything on his team. Burnt is going to lose to Corviknight. He could just outstall Powerball. So let's decide to knock out his Suicune with Freeze Eye there. It's free because Clef at 60%, so it gets 2 a kill from there. Rotom's at 30%, gets 2 a kill. Here, just decide to sack Landorus. Don't need it. It's really awful. Like, Rock's only good versus Corviknight. His Rotom is boots. So now he actually decides to risk the game and stay in with Rotom. I wouldn't say risk the game. He probably knew how to Ice Beam, because if I Draco, I lost a lot of momentum into Clef, or I'd allow his Corviknight to root. So actually, I wouldn't say this was a solid play, like, in hindsight, because if I Draco'd, he just went to Corv or went to Clef and things like that. Though I would likely wouldn't, because we both know how big of a problem Rotom is, which is why I went for Ice Beam there, not expecting him to sack it. But he makes a pretty aggro play there, stays in. So now I'm in a pretty bad spot versus this Rotom. I have to go to Blissey here on the plot. So pull it up, get a bit of health back. He pain splits, which is a problem. Because the thing is, Blissey can't actually beat Rotom Heat 1v1 without Toxic. Because it could just pain split up because Blissey has so much HP. So yeah, this is a pretty bad situation as I teleport into Kyurem, trying to Draco, but he switches there. So it pretty much confirms that the last play with the staying in on Kyurem was a prediction, because he switched there as a Thunder Wave there, just trying to catch Corviknight or something, or Clef if he wants to stay in as Seismic Toss. Yeah, toss. Pain splits again. Like this was a misclick. This is not a choke. This is a misclick. I had no reason not to teleport there. Obviously, I'm in a Blissey. I don't take anything from overheats. I even told him at the end of the game that I clicked teleport, but I don't know, Showdown messed up or something. It like clicked. Maybe I clicked too fast. Yeah, that was a misclick. I definitely meant to teleport there. But yeah, I was kind of annoyed by that. Not upset, just annoyed that happened there. As yeah, I guess my mistake in this game was not assessing how big of a problem Rotom Heat was, because it's not really a Mon. Like, this Mon does not exist right now, but yeah, he destroyed me with it. But yeah, so we gotta move on to game 2. Be back with that in a sec. Alright guys, we're back here with game 2, and this one I decided to bring a team but I really like. A couple of my friends saw a lot of success with this team, so I was like, why not bring it? And I saw that Ojama was pretty weak to NIDO King, so this is like my best bet. And yeah, just looking at the team real quick, we got Swords Dance Weavile plus Spikes. The idea is to punish, the typical Weavile switch-ins, being Magearna, Tapu Fini, Ferrothorn, mons like those. And basically set up for a late game sweep with the hazards up. We have Chomp really solid right now. Helps check Cinderace, Kartana if it's like backed up by a Magnezone or something. Just really good. Stacks Hazard is a Skarm. Slow King is there to help deal with opposing Nidokings. Top of Lele, just a bunch of really strong special attackers. Slow King's really good at dealing with them. Teleport allowing Weavile and Nidoking to come in for free essentially, and Future Sight also really helps them break down their checks alongside Spikes. So that was the idea with him. A Nidoking, really solid mon right now. Destroy his balance, helps with Tapu Koko's like my offensive check to that. Yeah, just a really good mon, especially alongside Teleport and U-turn, things like that. And we have the cool set to round it out. Scarf Tapu Koko helps with Dragapults, because otherwise, like I'd be relying on Weavile Ice Shard for that, which is not reliable because it doesn't kill. Scarf just really helps snipe that, and so that's pretty much just the team. Really cool one. It's offense, has a Skarm, but mostly it's just offensive, because like really momentum based to things like Teleport, Slow King, and stuff. So we got some offense versus offense here. Ojama brought a team with Kirim, maybe like most likely Specs, but as you're gonna see, that's not the case. And OT, Pharaoh, just pretty solid offense. So basically, how I want to win this game is like a Weavile late game. What I need is Ferrothorn either heavily damaged or just out the way completely. I need to know if he's Scarf Kartana, but if he is, it's easy to wall because I have a Skarmory and a Chomp, and he gets punished heavily by Chomp if he, just click buttons versus that. And Koko, I need to know if he's Boots, because if he's Boots, he can't even knock me out with Dazzling Gleam. And then if I get good rolls on Triple Axel, I knock him out. So yeah, really need to remove Ferrothorn, and I can actually just sweep him with Weavile. So that's what I was gunning for. Skarm is there to guard against Lando T, potential Dragon Edge Dragapult, but they like mostly run Fire Blast. But if he's like sub DD, solid versus that because I had Whirlwind. Kartana and Spikes are pretty solid versus Ferrothorn, Dragapult, things like that. So that combination is really solid here. Chomp, it's not too important actually. Like it's there, but it gets beat by a lot of his team. Like Ferrothorn, for example, really wears it down. As Flamethrower is not going to do much to a Spadef variant. Loses to Landorus. Not loses because it can Toxic, but it can't really stay in on it, if that makes sense. I'll mostly throw it into Kartana because I don't want Skarm getting knocked off, if that ever comes up. It could take a hit from Tapu Koko, so it's not bad, it's just not as good as everything else. Slow King is okay, again gets beaten by most of his team, loses to Dragapult, Koko, Ferrothorn, things like that, so it's really not too important. So mostly just going to throw it into Kirim and Landorus, because it's not important. To keep at full for any particular reason. Nidoking destroys, just position it versus Landorus. If he's slower, he dies. Have Flamethrower for Ferrothorn, and it comes in for free versus Tapu Koko. Not exactly free because hazards, but Dazzling Gleam and U-turn is gonna really chip Nidoking to a point where they can't even deal with it at a certain point. But Nidoking is very good. It's like the key to winning this game because it just breaks the entirety of his team. He has no good fire resist outside Dragapult, which dies to Ice Beam. So Nidoking, I got two the two kings, the two of them, and Tapu Koko, Scarf, again is mainly there to snipe Dragapult, and really has no good fairy resist outside Ferrothorn. So once that Ferrothorn gets beat down, which most likely will, because that's like how the team works, I could actually like late game like Scarf, Dazzling Gleam, sweep. Just need the Landorus also beat down quite a bit, Stealth Rocks, things like that. And just gotta watch out for Kirim if it's Specs, Freeze Dry. Do I have good Ice Resist or Weavile? Because Weavile actually has good Spadef. I feel like people forget that a lot. And gotta watch out for Dragapults. That's pretty much it. I'm not worried about Kartana. I have a Skarm and a Chomp. Spikes could be annoying, but I have like double boots, so I wasn't too worried. As to bring in Nidoking as much as possible. Get my kills. Koko could late game sweep him. Weavile could also do that. So let's get into the game. So I lead with Tapu Koko. I expect Dragapult lead honestly because it beats everything on my team. Bar No, it just beats everything. So he had no reason not to lead it, I felt. And Koko just does over everything beside Ferrothorn. So I was like, let me just get this Dragapult turn 1. As Dazzling Gleam, as he stays in, it does not scout for Scarf. It's not a common set at all. Boots and Specs are more likely, are the most common sets. But I was super happy to see that Dragapult just got dropped. So now Nidoking is actually a problem. Like, he has no fire resist now. So once I click Flamethrower, like, he has to pick Mon to take damage. Kyurem doesn't really want to come in because that's his win con, especially if he specs or something. As yeah, I'm not gonna Dragapult, which is huge again. That opens up Nidoking, like I said, as I'm able to go to Chomp here. I could have went Scarm there, going on the defensive, but I don't know. I'd rather let's make the offensive play. Because the thing about Scarm, like, obviously it walls Landers, but it doesn't actually touch it because I'm not even I don't have Toxic or anything like that. So mostly it'll just sit in front of Landers and not do anything. And I'd rather just go to Chomp, just debate him to stay in, because I know he'd stay in if I went to Chomp. Whereas if I went Scarm, he'd be able to go to Koko and U-turn, and I didn't want any of that. So Chomp pretty much stops all of that from happening. And Rocks are actually much better versus Kyurem than Spikes are. As here it goes to Toxic as I stuff Rock up. Again, like I said, Chomp is not too important, which is why I play it so recklessly here. He Earthquakes, fine play. As here I put a double out to my Slowking. Now I knew he wouldn't go for any attacking move. Like, I knew he wouldn't Earthquake because I have a Skarmory, and you wouldn't want to lose momentum and allow me to get up a Spike as you Earthquake. And I knew he wouldn't U-turn on a Helmet Chomp. That just doesn't make any sense because he saw from the damage and from the set I am that I am definitely a Helmet Chomp. So you don't want to U-turn and take unnecessary damage. You'd be taking 30% almost. So it doesn't make sense to U-turn. It doesn't make sense to Earthquake because I have a Skarm. So I make the mid ground of Slowking. It covers for any doubles to top of Koko or Kyurem, like predicting Skarm or something like that. But I knew he would. Like, I just knew he wouldn't attack there, basically. So Slowking was the perfect mid ground. Also, because Electric Terrain ends this turn, so what I can do is easily just teleport. I live even if terrain was up, because Slowking is just that bulky. And what this allows is for me to teleport, get the free switch to my Nidoking, which I really want. So that's perfect positioning versus Tabo Koko. He revealed to be Boots, so I knew that Tipo wouldn't do anything because he took no damage from rocks. As I'm able to get the free switch into my Nidoking. Now he had to fire off a Flamethrower. I do not want him pivoting to Ferrothorn on a Sludge Wave or Earth Power. Those are actually misplays. I have no reason to go for those because he's not staying in, cannot touch the Nidoking. As Flamethrower is no drawback, because if he decides to make some random pivot into Ferrothorn trying to get in, I don't know, Kyurem for free, I catch him, and that'd just be great. But he doesn't make the better play. Sax Lando. My Chomp was faster than him, so I know it's safe to stay in and just click Flame again. And yeah, so Landers goes down. So I'm at a huge advantage right now. I'm up 6-4. As I'm able to go to Slowking here again, it's the least useful member, so no reason not to go to it. If he's freeze dry, that's fine. I don't need this. I probably could have lived again because Slowking is just nasty. As he goes for sub DD into sub, revealing that he's Dragon Dance Kyurem. I'm not sure if I agree with that set too much, but it can put us some work here because it can set up on Slowking and stuff. But go Skarm here, just the best play. Not playing around with Kyurem. Can't go Koko there because I died to Ice Cool Spear if he gets good rolls, and it doesn't make sense to sack Koko. Just to break the sub. As I Whirlwind, just not playing any games with Kyurem, not gonna risk any rolls with Spear. As I Spike just to get up, just to get that up. It'll help maybe versus Ferrothorn or necessary damage for +2 Weavile later versus Cart. So I was like, why not go for a Spike? I don't really need my leftovers too much. As here, just stacking hazards up. I was fine with this again because I have boots on Weavile, boots on Slowking. Though this does hamper Nidoking's ability to switch in top of Koko, so I was kind of worried about that, but I was like, it's fine. Nidoking is still solid. As I'm able to go to Nidoking here, he goes to Kyurem just to force me out, which means that when I come in again on Spikes and Rocks, my Nidoking will be at 20%, which means I'll just die to Dazzling Gleam. As I hear to go straight to Skarm, this is my best play. Again, just always going to Roost to keep that healthy. I need to keep Skarm healthy as possible for Kartana and Kyurem. As I pull this heart to my Nidoking now, Ojama makes a crazy play, goes straight for Dazzling Beam, not playing around with me pivoting. into NIDO King on T-Bolt and then Slow King on Gleam, because actually this was a very good play, because had I went to NIDO King on T-Bolt and then Slow King on Dazzling Gleam, I actually lived Dazzling Gleam into T-Bolt, even under terrain, and I'd be able to teleport. So that made a lot of sense to just go straight for Dazzling Gleam, to not play any games with all of that, as he just knocks my NIDO King out. It was gonna die anyway, so just throw it out there as I Scald. This is where I feel like a lot of players mess up. They go for some other stuff like Future Sight, trying to be cool, and no, I just go straight for Scald. No reason not to. I'm gonna keep his Tapu Koko low so that he cannot roost easily on Dazzling Gleam, and he's in range of my Weavile. Should I decide to go to that, as just staying with Slow King, there's no reason to keep it at that point. And here I go to Tapu Koko, and just fire off Dazzling Beams. At this point, he has no good fairy resist, so he's kind of in a checkmate spot. He kind of has to stay in with Koko, because if he switches, his card's gonna get 2 kills. It's like he can't even switch in that situation. As I just Dazzling Gleam, he knocks me out, but he reveals to be Life Orb card, which is good because this allows me to go Weavile instead of going Skarm. If I'm in Skarm, he probably had a chance. Not really though. Body Press probably would have did too much to cure him, and he's a physical set, so probably did not have a chance. But SD here just to confirm the win. No reason to knock off. I know that these Kyurem sets do not run dragon moves, so I knew it was safe to just SD there. Pretty sure not even 5 hits from my School Spirit knocked me out, as I'm able to SD into knock and just completely destroy his Kyurem. So yeah, that was game 2. I do agree that the roll Dragon Bolt, was kind of sucked for him, but it's rolls, it's not hacks. I went for it. It was just my best play to Dazzling Gleam. I had no reason not to, so I'm not too sorry about that, but it happens. And yeah, so that's game 2, really solid one, and we've been back with the third one. We got the third and final game. This is the decider right here. Whoever wins this moves on to round 5, so I had no intentions of losing. Neither does Ojama, so he's gonna be trying his best to destroy me. As so getting into this one, the team I decided to bring is actually something I didn't plan to bring, funnily enough. As I was actually testing, just playing some fun games with my friend, like 2 hours before the game, using this team. And like last minute, I was like, why not bring it? Like if it's good, like if it's solid and it's been running and testing, just why not bring it? I have confidence in it. I have confidence in like all my teams, really. But this one has like a lot of cool stuff on it. Gashadon, for example, you don't see that at all in OU. I feel like a lot of people should use Gashadon more because it's insanely good. Walls a lot of things such as NIDO King very easily. Tangrowth. Like 2 like lower tier but very good mons in OU. And Tapu Lele brought that again because it's broken. Not actually broken, but like is very, very like good and difficult to beat. Like if you're playing somebody who's good using Tapu Lele, like you're in trouble. And yeah, so that's pretty much the team. So we got Melmetal, Chomp, Zapdos. A day behind Melmetal plus Chomp is that Melmetal is able to toxic things like Slowbro, Lando, and makes it easier for Chomp to break through them long term. As I am SD's Stone Edge Chomp, which I think is the best set. I really don't think Scale Shot is good. I think Scale Shot's really bad actually, because not only are you lowering your defense, but you're relying on a multi-hit move, which I really don't like. I don't know, I just don't like it. Stone Edge just has far better coverage, and there's so many fairy types in the tier that it's really not worth using. It's almost a wasted move slot. Yeah, Stone Edge allows you to just murk any flying types. You still can hit Lando and stuff, and it makes it easier to beat. People try to pivot around Chomp, but like Lando and their fairy type and stuff, you just click Stone Edge and destroy them. Zapdos. I've used Zapdos quite a bit in the previous rounds. You guys already know what that does. Yeah, just a lot of cool stuff, man. And alright, so in this one, looking at it, right, so Melmetal, it's not good. I'm not Earthquake, so I don't even beat Heatran. It makes sense because I have 2 ground types, so it didn't really want to run Earthquake. Honestly, I'm thinking about running just Steel plus Electric coverage, just plus Thunder Punch instead of Ice Punch. I think that has better coverage than Ice, I did well with Landorus, T, and Chomp anyway. Yeah, I might change that. Because I ran into 2 slowbers with this team. One in testing and one now. And Thunder Punch really would have helped, but I'm not. I am Double Iron Bash, Ice Punch, Protect, Toxic, which still puts in a bit of work versus Slowbro, because eventually Melmetal will beat it alongside flinches and stuff. If it's not Rocky Helmet, but it most likely is. And yeah, really just there to deal with Tornado's T. I don't want to throw Zapdos into that and get my boots knocked off. And Bulu, though if he's like a Source Dance variant, it'll die, so I have to pivot around. So my Melmetal is okay. It's not the best though. Toxic and Slowbro would be big in the late game for Chomp. However, which sweeps him. Again, I'm SD Stone Edge. I'm not Dragon Move, so Bulu will get destroyed if I get enough boost. Slowbro will die if he does not Scald Burn me. And everything else does not like facing Chomp. So Chomp is like really good. Outspeeds Nidoking, forces out Tran for me to get a free Stealth Rock. Yeah, so Chomp is like my win con. Zapdos is pretty, like, it's okay, but he has Nidoking to abuse it. You can't really defog it on it easily if it is Stealth Rock. Deals with Torn T, Slowbro, and Bulu though, so like it has use. It's just like annoying to click Discharge and stuff and Heat Wave because he has a Hydreigon. Heat Ran, like, it's really solid switch-ins. Gastrodon. It's gonna be my defensive stronghold. What I mean by that is he cannot kill it very easily. He can wall it with Tapu Bulu and Hydreigon, but he cannot kill it as long as I play well with it. It deals well with Nidoking. Switching to Slowbro Scalds as I am Storm Drain, deals with Heat Ran. So like it deals with a large portion of his team, literally like 4 members. The rest deal with it, but other than that, doesn't deal with it very well. So Gastrodon is going to be key to winning the game long term. Tapu Lele can late game sweep him. If I remove the Heatran, I just click Moonblast. He has no good fire resist when Heatran goes down. So Lele plus Stealth Rocks is nice, though not extremely necessary. I am Scarf, so I deal with Torn T, Hydreigon, and Tangrowth is there to go out against Slowbro and Tapu Bulu. Really doesn't serve much of a purpose other than that. Yeah, like it can sleep powder and stuff, but it's kind of hard to do that. Like I'd have to get the turns right versus Bulu. And yeah, so game plan wise, what I wanted to do was Toxic to Slowbro, was then opens up Chomp to SD, because he can't like sit there and recover or stall because he's toxic. And over time, Chomp just becomes a huge threat after that. And Bulu wasn't too worried about it because I have Stone Edge, like I said. Zapdos, again, not going to be doing too much besides checking Torn T. Somewhat Bulu, but I'll go to Tangrowth first, just to scout for Stone Edge. Gastrodon, like I said, beats a large portion of his team. I am Curse, which is the best Gastrodon set. It's not going to be sweep, I don't think, because he has Bulu and Hydreigon, but it's just threatening. It sits there and just takes hits. You guys are going to see what I mean. And Tapu Lele, Scarf, I guess like a late game sweep. And Tangrowth's there to deal with Slowbro and Bulu. So on his side, Nidoking wasn't too worried about it. I have the best Nidoking counter. Torn T, I have Zapdos. Heatran, I have 2 ground types. Bulu, not too big of an issue. I have Zapdos plus Tangrowth. I don't have a Dark Resist, so if he's like random Specs Hydreigon, that could be an issue, but I doubt it. Most likely Defog or something. And yeah, so let's hop straight into the game. Pretty even matchup in this one. So, just gotta play well, to gain an advantage early on as leads. I lead with Tapu Lele. It's figured to be the best lead versus anything. Heat Ran, I can Focus Blast, things like that. Though I'm not Specs, so that won't kill it. So actually, hard switch, predicting him to want to scout for the Specs, because if I Specs Moonblasted him, he would have took a ton, then he couldn't deal with Garchomp after that, so I didn't expect him to stay in. Though I figured, I guess he knew that even if I'm Specs, I don't knock him out, and he's just going to get that Future Sight off. Makes sense. Though personally, I would have been hard Heatran. There was no drawback. No, I was going to Focus Blast there. As double Gastrodon covers for Scald and Heatran is basically what I was going for. I'm able to use Earthquake. I have no other play to go for. I don't have Scald. Again, I'm Curse. Earthquake, Waterfall. I don't have anything to hit Slowbro with. As out here, I cannot just mindlessly go to Tangrowth, because if you guys paid attention, he went for Future Sight the following turn, previous turn. As what that mean is Tingrowth would take around 60% from Future Sight, and then Bulu would be able to knock me out with +2 close combat. So that was pretty well thought out on his part. So I'm forced to make a couple of weird plays. Go to Mamoru first as a pivot, knowing that I could take both Future Sight and close combat if he's not boosted. And then I pivot to my Tingrowth, knowing that close combat is coming. I'm not like a max HP Mamoru, so I know I for sure die to that. Bulus, I don't know what they run nowadays, but I know that mostly do not carry Mega Horn. You mostly want to run like, I don't know, Horn Leech. And of course, and then Stone Edge for like Zapdos, Moltres. That's his main niche over Rillaboom, being able to hit the flying types. As I go to Tingrowth here. Basically, what I'm going to be doing the entire game is bluffing Sludge Bomb, though I do not have it. Because if I am Sludge Bomb, he just loses his Bulu, and you know, therefore loses one of his best checks to Gashadon. So I knew it wouldn't stay in. So I go for knockoff there. It covers stay in still, and it covers the Heatran. I could Sleep Powder, but if he stayed in, I'll just be a wasted turn. He Toxic misses there, which sucks. I mean, I guess it makes up for the burn in game 1. As Embitter's get up my Stealth Rocks. I want those up ASAP. I don't know him switching around. He goes hard. Hold up. He went to a hard Hydreigon, being confident that I did not have a Dragon move. Insane. As actually no, that was a fine play. He probably expected me to scout for the Scarf. That actually makes a lot of sense looking at it now. This kind of confused me when he actually made the play like in the game. But it makes sense now, as AD Fox there just to get those, you know, rocks. So I would just put those up. As a Toxic there, knowing the Slowbro is coming. Hydreigon generally cannot touch my Mamoru. Earth Power is not doing anything to a max per def variant, and then Iron Bash will just knock him out. So I know you wouldn't stay in there. So go for Toxic on the obvious Slowbro. Again, getting that riddled every turn opens up guard Chomp and things like that. So yeah, I was pretty fine with that. As pulls a double out to, it doesn't double out, he teleports out into NIDO King. I went Tingrowth there just in case he wanted to Future Sight. What I planned to do was Leaf Storm, because it will probably just kill him. I know Giga Drain, he probably expect me to be Giga Drain and it won't kill him, but Leaf Storm will definitely knock him out. Or just do a ton to the point where you cannot switch into Garchomp. As I put the switch out to my Gashadon there, as just the best play, covers anything. Just go for EQ just in case for some reason he wants to stay in. Though I know you wouldn't, because Ojama's better than that. Go Zapdos here. I know he's bulky Hydreigon based on you know, you reveal D-Fox, so I know he's bulky. As I go to Zapdos, just the best play because I want to get these houses off the field, because I want to be able to switch freely. Saw Defog there. I think I roost. Yeah, I roost once. I'll just try to roost one more time. I actually plan to switch after I got the roost off to not risk the flinch, but he gets the flinch now, which it's kind of unfortunate, but hey, it happens. Back to Gashadon actually on the Dark Pulse. Again, I don't have a Dark Resist, but Gashadon's essentially doing that job because, you know, it's a bulky Hydreigon. It's not going to do any type of damage. Doesn't able to just recover off the Dark Pulse. And I go for Curse here. There's no reason not to. I'm not going to switch Gashadon now, so it doesn't make sense to not go for Curse. As I build a switch out to Slowbro, which makes a lot of sense, just to get the free teleport back to the top of Bulu to not risk, you know, potential Scald, because I have not shown what my Gashadon is. I've only shown Earthquake and Recover at that point, and I showed Curse. So you don't know if I have Scald yet, but yeah, Slower made a lot of sense to pivot first. So here, I realized quickly that I cannot win this game if I keep playing safely and obvious and just switching every time versus, you know, Bulu and you know, Heatran, things like that. Because the thing is, Heatran can actually outlast me with Toxic on my ground types, and also I haven't made any like super like aggressive like stay-in type of plays in any of the games, if you guys noticed. And I know Ojama will like catch on to that because I've been playing pretty safe, solid but safe, like in all the games. Like I haven't made any really crazy like predictions. So yes, I know I am a Gashadon. I am 4 times weak to grass. I know that he is a type of Bulu. Even at +1 he still kills me. But I knew, like I was 99% sure that a double switch is coming out here into either NIDO King or Tran. Basically something that can deal with Tingrowth, because if I go to Tingrowth, he's taking more Rocky Helmet, and he's giving me the opportunity to go for Sleep Powder, which he does not want. So I was kind of thinking ahead a lot in his turn. This play didn't take too long to think about, but you know, I was like, if I get this right, I have the club going crazy. As here, I decided to make a high risk, high reward play. Again, I'm very confident that he's not staying in with Bulu. It's just so obvious that I'm not staying in with Gashodon either. So, and he wants to get the advantage versus my Tangrowth, because if he gets rocks up again, Zapdos basically cannot defog on anything. So a double to Nidoking makes a lot of sense. Again, he's in front of a +1 Gashodon with a Bulu. Of course, I'm going to switch. So here, he pulls a double as a waterfall, predicting again either Nidoking or Heatran to come out, and that play works out beautifully for me as I knock out pretty annoying Mon. Like, I had Gashodon on the wallet, but the thing is, again, he had Heatran to Toxic, which would be annoying eventually because I'd have to go to Gashodon eventually on Dran, and then I just avoid the entire situation because I kill one of his things that Gashodon wants to switch into. So now Gashodon is not as pressured to deal with Heatran. I could just throw it in a Toxic and not care as much because I know it's walled by the rest of his team and I don't need it to deal with anything at this point. So that waterfall was a crazy play, but it works out there. I'm able to knock out the Nidoking, which would have been very annoying because it could have got up Stealth Rocks, and now his Stealth Rock was gone. So yeah, excellent turn for me. So that put me at a huge advantage. Now here I go to Tangrowth making a safe play, knowing that he's probably frustrated at that point, gonna go straight for the Horn Leech. As I go for knockoff, expecting Torn. Actually, I should have went for Sleep Powder. I don't know. It probably was a misplay. I mean, either or works. I mean, knockoff. Sleep Powder did risk a miss. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, but definitely should have went for Sleep Powder there. I was going to predict the switch. Now here I go straight to Gashodon. Again, it's my defensive stronghold. It's not going to beat his team, but it walls a large portion of it. As here I pull the double out to my water, knowing that either Hydreigon or Tapu Bulu is coming just to keep up the offensive pressure. As I hear just a double Iron Badge just to scout to see if it's Slowbro I can helmet as he is. Again, if I was Thunder Punch, that would have helped a lot because I would have been able to hit the Slowbro Punch harder alongside Toxic, but it's fine. Pull the switch on my Tangrowth just in case I went to Future Sight again. I'd be able to leave Storm. I haven't shown that yet. As I pull the switch out to my Meadow. Again, it's the least useful member. Technically, there was a type of Bulu, but not really if he saw his dances. As I can't go to Zapdos anyway because I'm so low, I'm like 20%. As he actually decides to stay with his Torn. Not only that, he's like a weird set. He's like Nasty Plot, U-turn knockoff. So he's like pivot, but trying to set up at the same time. I don't like that set too much. It feels like you're trying to do too much at once. I'd rather just run Focus Blast or Heat Wave to hit the steel types. I don't know. I don't like that set, but he knocks off, expecting some kind of switch. I don't know. But I had no reason to switch there. As I bash just to knock him out. Just no reason not to. I don't care if it goes to Bro at that point. And yeah, so I'm able to knock out his Torn, which was the one of his ground, one of his Earthquake switch-ins. As again, at a pretty huge advantage, 6-4. Go straight to Gashodon, just the best play. Gets Earthquake in case he decides to stay in or predict a double into Meadow once again. Because I've been playing pretty aggressively with that. As straight to Meadow on the Dark Pulse. Can't stay with Gashodon because I'm Toxic. Don't want to go to Lele, take unnecessary damage. And now here, just get a bit of chip on the Heatran. This can play a role later on because he's getting beat down. He doesn't have leftovers, so any chip is good on this. I did about 18% there, so Lele, is opening up as the turns go by. Pull switch out to my Gashodon here again, just the best play. No reason to risk Chomp at this point because it wins the game. As I recover here to stay as healthy as possible. Because I want to switch into Hydreigon later on. As I pull the switch out to my Meadow, just throwing it out at this point because I want to just end the game with my Chomp. As I know he's not Draco or Hydreigon because he revealed to be Earth Power. As I know Sarzan's is pretty safe here. He can't stay in on the Scale Shot. Because then he actually just loses to Moonblast eventually. Not Moonblast, Psychic, because then he has no good Psychic resist. As I SD on Slowbro and SD again, knowing that it'll kill at +4. So I need to go for +4 there either way. +2 also means that +4 means that I kill Hydreigon. So SD twice and then knock out the Bulu. He could tell he was pretty annoyed at that. He probably thought I was Dragon move, you know, the standard set, but I am not. I am Stone Edge. So I'm able to just cook the Bula right there. As yeah, if it doesn't burn me, I just guarantee sweep. I'm not playing around with any pivots into Hydreigon on Earthquake. No reason not to Stone Edge if I hit. Basically, I get 2 chances to hit Hydreigon. If I Earthquake there, I would have had 1 chance, and then it come down to some weird stuff. He could Dark Pulse me down, but no, not playing any games. Stone Edge is just the best play. It kills Slowbro if he stays in, and it kills the Hydreigon if he decides to pivot and play around Chomp. As I just knock him out immediately. As back to Slowbro, Chomp basically just wins at this point. Just click Earthquake multiple times and the game ends. So I have enough Life Orb hits in me to, plus Grassy Terrain is helping me out as well. Slowbro's still gonna die, obviously at +4 after burn. Trans dead, and then Slowbro dies there. So all these games are quite long except for the second one. Yeah, really solid games with Ojama. Really happy I won these, and yeah, on to round 5 we go. So definitely stay tuned for that. And yeah, that waterfall play on NIDO King was godly. Definitely helped me out a lot, because then I didn't have to deal with. Also, that was one of his fairy resist, so you know that really helped out top of Lele. And yeah, I was really glad to see that play worked out, and yeah, I was really happy with the teams I used. Yeah, just all that. My prep was very good. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.